Salvador Dali said, "Have no fear of perfection. You'll never reach it." Essentially, when you sit down and make art, let go of expectation. The most important thing is that you're sitting down and you're making art. And that is the road to getting better. Hi, my name is Jonah Lobe. I'm a character artist, game designer, illustrator, and fantasy art educator, as well as a streamer. I've worked at Bethesda for 7 years, where I was responsible for a lot of their creature design, including like the dragons and the Deathclaws and things like that from games like Skyrim and Fallout. And in the last 8 years, I've been doing more personal projects. I've moved up to New York and I do a lot more illustration and a lot more fantasy art education and streaming. I left Bethesda in 2012, kind of about a year or so after Skyrim had come out. I'd been working on Fallout 4 for about, 6 to 8 months before then. But then I knew that I wanted to leave. My wife lived up here in New York, and I had been spending the previous, I would say maybe 6 years or 5 or 6 years working on a fantasy series. I had great job security and I had a great thing going at Bethesda. They treated me very well. I got to do really great work, but I hadn't ceased to grow as a fully fledged artist, so to speak, and as a human. So I left and I came up to New York, and I thought it would take me 1 year to write my book, and that was a joke. And it took me about 3.5 years to write my book. That's a series called the Alvani Saga, and I've done some art for it on my Patreon. Some of my patrons, they've been reading it, book one, and I'm working ways for them to contribute ideas and to stir the pot and to kind of get a backseat look at what it's like to world build. I was a character artist for many years, and then I've become a writer and an illustrator since then because I like to tell stories. So in addition to the other things that I've done in these last 8 years, I worked on an indie game for 1.5 years. It was called Fireborn, and I was the art director, and I did 100% of the art, the heads-up display, the characters, the monsters, the weapons, the environments, the trees, the rocks, the mountains, the sun, the moon. I made the web marketing art. I helped work on our trailer, etc., and the whole thing fell apart. And so walked away with nothing on that one. So that was a bit of a stinging blow, but I learned an enormous amount at that time about contacting press, about marketing, about agents, about if I were to work on another game again, I know exactly what I would have to do differently. You don't have to be the best at any one given thing, but just knowing what makes you happy in life and doing those things, and just trying to be happy doing those things, it does a lot. In the last 8 years, something I've learned is that Jonah Lobe is more than just the guy who made dragons for Skyrim. Granted, I will probably always be known for that. And as much as I believe that my Alvani Saga is going to be the best thing that I have ever made, and I believe that in my heart, I truly, like, with every ounce of my being, I'm like, no, forget Skyrim, that's the hotness. Come on, like, it can sell 100,000 copies, and it won't make a difference because Skyrim sold 25 million copies.